You thought you had found the one, didn't you? The one who would love you unconditionally, who would cherish and adore you like no other. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, you began to feel a creeping sense of unease. It started with small things, a misplaced phone call, an unexpected silence, a careless remark. At first, you brushed it off as mere human error, but deep down, you knew something was off. You couldn't quite put your finger on it, but the feeling persisted. Like trying to grasp a handful of sand, the harder you squeezed, the more it slipped through your fingers. You felt like you were drowning in a sea of uncertainty, with no lifeline in sight. And then, just as suddenly as it began, everything seemed fine again. The charming words, the sweet gestures, the loving glances, all back to normal. But the damage was done. The seed of doubt had been planted, and it would take root, sprouting into a garden of uncertainty that would haunt you for years to come. You felt like you were stuck in some kind of psychological Groundhog Day, reliving the same painful moments over and over again, with no escape from the crushing sense of insignificance. You wondered if you had simply misread the signs, if your own insecurities had gotten the better of you. But deep down, you knew that wasn't it. You knew that you were not crazy, at least, not in the classical sense. What happened to you was something far more sinister, something calculated and deliberate. You see, there's a playbook out there, a manual for master manipulators who will stop at nothing to get what they want. And what they want is your attention, your affection, and ultimately, your submission. They don't care if it's your soul they're playing with, as long as you're hooked, they'll keep reeling you in. Tonight, we're going to take a deep dive into the psyche of these masters of manipulation, the narcissists who will use every trick in the book to get what they want. We'll explore the tactics they use to select their prey, to reel them in with false promises and fake affection. We'll examine the ways they gaslight you, making you question your own sanity and judgment. We'll also look at the devastating impact they can have on those around them, the families, friends, and lovers who get caught in the crossfire of their insatiable ego. And most importantly, we'll explore the ways to recognize and escape these toxic relationships before it's too late. So, if you're one of the countless individuals who found themselves stuck in this cycle of manipulation and abuse, tonight is for you. It's time to take back control, to rise above the ashes of your broken heart and reclaim your life. You are not alone, and with our guidance, you can break free from the narcissist's playbook once and for all. But before we begin, let me ask you a question. Do you remember the first time you felt that flutter in your chest when you met them? The way your heart skipped a beat as they looked into your eyes, like they saw right through to your very soul. That was just the beginning of their master plan, and tonight, we're going to expose it for what it is, a calculated attempt to ensnare you in a web of lies and deception. So, sit back, relax, and get ready to uncover the truth. The narcissist's playbook is about to be ripped apart, line by line, so that you can never again fall prey to their manipulative tactics. As we delve into the psyche of the narcissist, it becomes clear that they don't simply choose their victims at random. Oh no, the selection process is far more sinister than that. You see, narcissists are experts in psychological profiling, and they've developed a keen eye for identifying specific traits that make them vulnerable to their manipulation. They scan for individuals who possess an abundance of empathy, those who have a natural inclination to put others' needs before their own. It's no coincidence that highly empathetic people are disproportionately targeted by narcissists. You see, these individuals are like magnets, drawing the attention of the narcissist like moths to a flame. But it's not just empathy they're after, they also look for signs of loyalty, of devotion, of a deep-seated need to be loved and accepted. The narcissist is drawn to this vulnerability like a moth to a flame, sensing an opportunity to exploit it for their own gain. And then, there's the history of self-doubt. Narcissists are masters at recognizing the insecurities that lurk beneath the surface of even the most confident individuals. They can smell the fear of rejection, the anxiety of not being good enough, and they pounce on these vulnerabilities like a predator stalking its prey. But here's the thing, when you're chosen by a narcissist, it's not a compliment. It's not a sign that you're special or worthy of attention. No, it's a diagnosis of your openness, your willingness to be heard, and your capacity for self-sacrifice. It's like being marked as prey, a target for the narcissist's manipulation. And so, they begin their initial assessment, studying you before you even know they exist. They ask questions that feel like connection, like genuine interest, but are really just probing for weaknesses, for vulnerabilities to exploit. They're searching for signs of emotional intelligence, for a capacity to read people and situations, and for a willingness to compromise. They'll ask about your values, your beliefs, your fears, and your desires. And they'll listen intently, pretending to be empathetic, pretending to care. But all the while, they're taking mental notes, sizing you up like a potential adversary in a game of psychological chess. And then, they'll start to manipulate, to toy with your emotions, to test your boundaries. They'll make promises they have no intention of keeping, and they'll break them without hesitation. They'll play on your insecurities, on your fears, and on your desires. But here's the thing, when you're chosen by a narcissist, it's not about being special or worthy of attention. It's about being exploited, used, and discarded. And the sooner you realize this, the better equipped you'll be to protect yourself from their manipulation. So, the next time someone asks you questions that feel like connection, but make you feel uneasy, listen to your instincts. Trust your gut. Because when it comes to narcissists, there's no such thing as a genuine connection. There's only exploitation, and the sooner you recognize this, the better off you'll be. As we delve deeper into the playbook of the narcissist, we find ourselves entwined in the intoxicating dance of love bombing, a calculated tactic designed to ensnare their prey in a web of intense emotional connection. Love bombing is not a genuine expression of affection, but rather a deliberate manipulation of the target's brain chemistry, crafted to create an illusion of deep and profound understanding. In this idealization phase, the narcissist deploys an arsenal of flattering words, attention-grabbing behaviors, and grand romantic gestures. They shower their target with admiration, making them feel seen, heard, and understood in ways they never thought possible. The intensity is palpable, like a runaway train hurtling down the tracks of your psyche, leaving all rational thought in its wake. As the target's brain chemistry responds to this onslaught of affection, dopamine and oxytocin, those chemical couriers of pleasure and bonding, are hijacked into serving the narcissist's agenda. Dopamine, often referred to as the pleasure molecule, releases a cascade of feel-good hormones, creating an addictive sense of euphoria. Oxytocin, known as the cuddle hormone, fosters feelings of attachment and belonging, making you feel like you've finally found your soulmate. But what's happening beneath the surface is far more insidious. The narcissist is expertly mirroring your deepest desires, reflecting back at you the aspects of yourself that you've long been trying to hide or deny. This is not a genuine connection, it's a calculated manipulation designed to make you fall in love with a projection of yourself. The manufactured soulmate illusion is born, an artificial construct created by the narcissist's deliberate actions and cleverly disguised as a real, authentic relationship. As the target becomes increasingly enamored, they begin to feel like they've finally found someone who truly gets them, someone who sees the real them. This feeling is so intense, so all-consuming, that it eclipses all logical reasoning. You're convinced that this person is your match, your partner in every sense of the word. But here's the catch: this phase is merely a cleverly designed trap. The narcissist has no intention of reciprocating the level of emotional investment they've extracted from you. They've only used their charisma and charm to create an illusion of connection, designed to ensnare your heart and soul. And once they've achieved that, they'll pivot, often with a brutal suddenness, abandoning the idealized relationship for newer, shinier prey. The idealization phase is where the narcissist's playbook truly shines. It's a masterclass in psychological manipulation, exploiting your deepest desires and insecurities to create an addiction-like response. You're powerless against the onslaught of affection, your brain chemistry hijacked by the relentless barrage of dopamine and oxytocin. And yet, despite the overwhelming intensity of this phase, it's precisely what makes the narcissist's tactics so insidious. They've created a sense of euphoria that's both intoxicating and addictive, making you feel like you're walking on air, like nothing can ever go wrong. It's a fleeting high, but one that's designed to keep you coming back for more, even as the relationship disintegrates around you. In the next section, we'll explore the cruel consequences of this manufactured soulmate illusion, how it sets the stage for a toxic relationship marked by emotional manipulation, gaslighting, and ultimately, abandonment. But for now, we're stuck in the idealization phase, trapped in a world where love feels like an endless summer breeze, but is actually just a calculated ploy designed to ensnare your heart and soul. As the initial infatuation wears off, the narcissist's gaze begins to wander. The warmth they once lavished upon you starts to cool, replaced by an icy detachment. The compliments, once as frequent as petals on a flower, become scarce and far between. When they do come, they're delivered with a hint of condescension, a patronizing tone that makes you feel like a grateful recipient of their magnanimity. It's during this period that the criticisms begin to creep in, masquerading as gentle jabs or humorous remarks. At first, they seem almost affectionate, but soon enough, they reveal their true nature, veiled attacks designed to erode your confidence and chip away at your sense of self-worth. The subtle put-downs are strategically timed to catch you off guard, leaving you reeling from the unexpected blow. As the silences grow longer and more frequent, you start to wonder if it's something you've done wrong. Maybe you're not meeting their expectations, or perhaps you're just not good enough. The uncertainty creates a sense of self-doubt, making you question your own judgment and worthiness. It's a masterclass in psychological manipulation, as the narcissist skillfully uses the lack of warmth to create an atmosphere of uncertainty. But beneath this facade lies a carefully crafted plan, maintaining control through intermittent reinforcement. The narcissist is expertly balancing hot and cold, praise and punishment, to keep you hooked on their whims. You're caught in a cycle that's both mesmerizing and terrifying, as you struggle to decipher the rules of this twisted game. As you try to make sense of the chaos, trauma bonding begins to take hold. Your brain releases oxytocin, the neurotransmitter responsible for feelings of attachment and loyalty. It's an insidious process, as your body responds to the perceived threat by releasing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. You're trapped in a cycle of hypervigilance, constantly scanning your surroundings for signs of approval or disapproval. Meanwhile, you start working harder to regain the love and attention that once flowed so freely. You begin to second-guess yourself, replaying conversations and interactions in your mind, searching for clues as to what went wrong. The more you try to please them, the more elusive their affection becomes, leaving you feeling like Sisyphus pushing his boulder up the mountain. As the confusion, self-blame, and isolation deepen, the narcissist's grip on you tightens. They've created a sense of uncertainty that keeps you off balance, making it impossible for you to think clearly or make rational decisions. It's a toxic dance, with each step leading you further down the rabbit hole. The more you're trapped in this cycle, the more you'll start to internalize their criticisms and doubts. You'll begin to question your own sanity, wondering if perhaps you are indeed flawed or unworthy. The self-doubt will gnaw at your psyche like a rat on a wheel, driving you further into the quicksand of despair. And yet, despite the overwhelming evidence that something is very wrong, you'll find yourself clinging to the hope that things can still work out. That if you just try harder, or be more understanding, or make one small adjustment, they'll come back around. You're trapped in a cycle of trauma bonding, convinced that the love and attention you once received was real, and that with enough effort, it can be rekindled. But the truth is far more sinister. The narcissist has extracted what they wanted from you: your trust, your loyalty, your sense of self-worth, and now they're using those same tools to maintain control. The cycle of hot and cold, praise and punishment, will continue until you realize that there's no going back, only going forward into the darkness of their making. The discard. It's a moment of clarity for those who have been trapped in the narcissist's web, a moment when the truth hits like a ton of bricks: they've been playing you all along. But even in this epiphany, there's no sense of closure, no feeling of finally being free from the toxic grasp. No, the discard is more akin to a slow-motion train wreck, a catastrophic event that leaves only devastation and despair in its wake. You see, when a narcissist discards someone, it's not like a normal relationship ending. There's no closure, no sense of finality. It's as if they simply decide one day that you're no longer necessary, that your utility has expired, and they move on to the next conquest without so much as a second thought. You might receive a text or a phone call, some flippant remark about how things just didn't work out, but more often than not, there's no direct communication at all. It's like you were never even there. But what triggers this sudden abandonment? Is it something specific you did or said? Maybe they got bored with the relationship, or maybe someone new caught their eye and they needed to drop you like a hot potato. The truth is, narcissists are notoriously unpredictable, and what drives them can be impossible to understand. But one thing is certain: when they decide to discard someone, it's not because of anything you did wrong. It's all about them. And yet, despite the fact that they feel nothing, literally nothing, the discarded partner is left reeling from the aftermath. The sense of betrayal, the feelings of inadequacy, the crushing despair, it's like a slow-motion train wreck, with no brakes to apply. You're left wondering what you did wrong, what you could have done differently, how you could have been so blind. But here's the thing: it wasn't about you. It was never about you. The narcissist didn't care about your feelings, your needs, or your desires. They cared only about their own validation, their own sense of self-worth. And when they discarded you, they did it not to hurt you, although that's a definite byproduct, but to maintain their own fragile ego. And then there are the flying monkeys, those loyal minions who will do anything to prop up the narcissist's image, even if it means trashing your reputation in the process. These are the people who will whisper sweet nothings in the narcissist's ear, telling them how great they are and how awful you were. They're the ones who will echo the narcissist's lies, repeating back to them what they want to hear. But even more insidious is the smear campaign. The narcissist will start spreading rumors, making false accusations, and generally making your life a living hell. It's like they're trying to erase you from existence, to make it impossible for anyone to see you in a positive light again. And all the while, they'll be smiling sweetly, telling everyone how much they care about you. And then there's the rewriting of history. You were always the problem, they'll tell you. They never did anything wrong, it was all your fault. you're the one who wasn't supportive enough, or didn't understand them, or didn't meet their needs. And in this twisted narrative, they're the victim, the poor, abused soul who was forced to endure your toxic behavior. But here's the thing, when a narcissist discards someone, it's not just about ending the relationship. It's about erasing that person from their own sense of self. They'll make you feel like you were never there, like you were just a figment of their imagination. And in this way, they're designed to destroy your sense of self, to make you question everything you thought was true. The discard is a cruel, calculating move, one that's designed to leave the target reeling from the aftermath. It's a slow-motion train wreck, with no brakes to apply. But even as it seems like the end of the world, there's a glimmer of hope for those who are willing to confront the truth and start rebuilding their shattered sense of self. The Hoover is a tactic that narcissists use to reel their targets back in, often when it seems like all hope is lost. It's a clever move, one that plays on the deep-seated emotions and desires of those who have been idealized by these master manipulators. The Hoover is characterized by sudden contact, often after a long period of silence. This can take many forms: a text message out of the blue, a phone call in the dead of night, or even an unexpected visit to your doorstep. At first, it may seem like a harmless gesture, a genuine attempt to reconnect and make amends for past wrongs. But don't be fooled, this is just the beginning of a well-rehearsed script designed to reignite the flames of passion and attachment in the target's heart. The narcissist will often start with a grand gesture, something that appears generous and thoughtful on the surface but ultimately serves to further entrench their hold on you. They may claim that they have changed, that they are no longer the same person who hurt you in the past. And if you're like many of their victims, you'll be desperate to believe them. You'll want to think that this time will be different, that this new and improved version of your narcissistic partner is here to stay. But don't waste your time, these claims are usually nothing more than empty words designed to get you back in bed. But why do they always come back? Why do they continue to torment their victims with the promise of something more, only to discard them once again like yesterday's trash? It's because narcissists are wired to need constant validation and attention. They crave the thrill of the chase, the rush of adrenaline that comes with manipulating others into doing their bidding. And yet, despite the pain and suffering they inflict on those around them, there is a strange allure to the narcissist's world. A world where the rules don't apply, where emotions are fluid and malleable, and where the only constant is chaos. It's a world that can be intoxicating, even for those who know better. But what about you? Why do you always go back? Is it because you still harbor deep-seated feelings for this person, even after all they've done to hurt you? Or is it because you're desperate to hold on to the fleeting sense of connection and intimacy that they provide? Trauma bonding is a term used to describe the intense emotional attachment that can form between survivors of traumatic events. It's a bond that's forged in the fire of shared pain, and one that can be incredibly powerful. But when it comes to narcissists, this bond is often used as a tool of manipulation. They will do everything in their power to create a sense of trauma or crisis in your life, knowing that you'll respond by seeking them out for comfort and support. And then there's the intermittent reinforcement cycle, a psychological concept that describes how rewards are distributed unevenly over time, creating an addictive dynamic. For narcissists, this means doling out attention and affection only when it serves their own needs, leaving their victims feeling desperate and needy. But perhaps the most insidious aspect of the Hoover is the way it taps into your deep-seated desires to be loved and accepted. You may have been idealized by the narcissist in the past, and even though that idealization has long since worn off, a part of you still holds onto the hope that this person will someday return to their true form. And so, despite all the evidence to the contrary, you find yourself going back, again and again, hoping against hope that this time will be different. But it never is. The cycle always resets, like clockwork, and you're left wondering why you're so stupid as to keep falling for the same old tricks. But don't worry, you're not alone. Research suggests that victims of narcissistic abuse often return to their perpetrators up to 7 times before finally leaving for good. 7 times. That's a lot of cycles, a lot of resets, and a lot of heartache. So what finally breaks the bond? Is it love? No, it's not. It's knowledge. Once you understand that the narcissist is using you as a means to an end, that they're only interested in furthering their own interests, you begin to see things for what they are. You realize that the Hoover was just a clever tactic designed to keep you coming back for more. You realize that the grand gestures and empty promises were all part of a well-rehearsed script. And when this knowledge sets in, it's like a weight has been lifted off your shoulders. You begin to see that you're not crazy, that you're not overreacting. You begin to see that you're simply trying to survive in a world that's been turned upside down by the narcissist's manipulation. And with this newfound understanding comes freedom. The bond is broken, and you're finally free to move on with your life. As we conclude our exploration of the narcissist's playbook, it's essential to acknowledge that recovery from their abuse is not a swift or straightforward process. It's a grueling yet ultimately liberating journey that requires dedication, self-awareness, and a willingness to confront the depths of your own trauma. Recovery begins with understanding the gravity of what you've endured. The narcissist's manipulation, exploitation, and emotional terrorism have left an indelible mark on your nervous system, your sense of self, and your very way of relating to others. It's not just a matter of getting over it or moving on, it's a complex process that demands patience, compassion, and a commitment to your own healing. No contact with the narcissist is a crucial first step in this recovery journey. Any attempt to re-engage or reconcile with them will only perpetuate the cycle of abuse and trauma bonding. The toxic dynamic between you and the narcissist was never about love, connection, or mutual support. It was a calculated game of power and control. By severing ties and creating distance, you're sending a powerful message to yourself: you deserve better. As your nervous system begins to heal from the trauma bonding, you may experience a range of emotions, some intense, others seemingly trivial. Fear not, for these feelings are merely symptoms of your body's natural response to the release of pent-up tension and stress. With time, patience, and self-care, you'll begin to notice subtle yet profound shifts in your emotional landscape. Understanding the playbook is the most critical aspect of this recovery journey. Once you grasp the narcissist's tactics, motivations, and patterns, you can no longer be fooled or manipulated. You've gained a vital tool for recognizing and avoiding future toxic relationships, as well as navigating existing ones with greater discernment. Knowing what to look for allows you to see the signs, red flags, and warning signals that were previously invisible to you. You're equipped to spot the narcissist's game playing, gaslighting, and emotional manipulation, and make informed decisions about how to respond or distance yourself accordingly. The narcissist counted on you never understanding what was done to you. They banked on your ignorance, your shame, and your self-doubt. But you now possess the knowledge, insight, and courage to confront the truth. You've taken back control of your life, your emotions, and your relationships. In this newfound awareness lies the power to rewrite your story, reclaim your agency, and forge a path forward that honors your truest self. The narcissist may have tried to define you, but you're now free to redefine yourself on your own terms. As we conclude our exploration of the narcissist's playbook, remember that recovery is not a destination, it's a journey. It requires resilience, self-compassion, and a willingness to confront the complexities of your own trauma. But with time, patience, and understanding, you'll emerge stronger, wiser, and more radiant than ever before. The truth has set you free.